Hello Sharks, I'm Jonathan Little for PokerNews.com, here today with a hand from the recent High Stakes Duel match between Phil Hellmuth and Daniel Negreanu. I'm about to spoil it for you and tell you who won. So if you don't want to know who won, go watch a different video. I have plenty at youtube.com/pokercoaching. Make sure you check it out. Phil Hellmuth won. He won 3-0 against Daniel Negreanu. He won 3-0 against Antonio Esfandiari. He's won a bunch of other heads-up matches. I think we now have to give Phil Hellmuth the crown for best heads-up player in the world. Huge congrats, Phil Hellmuth. You deserve it. He also has 15 World Series of Poker bracelets, $24 million in cashes. His opponent is Daniel Negreanu. 0 for 3 in heads-up games against Phil Hellmuth. Must be the worst heads-up player in the world. Sorry, Daniel. Good luck next time. Daniel Negreanu, to be fair, world-class poker player. $42 million in cashes. Plenty of victories. None against Phil Hellmuth, though. As far as I know, he maybe beat Phil Hellmuth once in a tournament or two. All right, let's take a look at this hand. Here, Phil Hellmuth limps from the small blind. Daniel Negreanu with 5-2 offsuit. In the big blind, out of position. What do you do here? Do you know? Well, you should consult the charts at pokercoaching.com if you do not know. I actually have the charts available on your phone. We have the Poker Coaching app. Check it out at pokercoaching.com/app. We have all the pre-flop GTO charts. We have over 1,300 quizzes, all sorts of interactive classes. Make sure you check it out and make the most of your poker coaching experience. Check it out, pokercoaching.com/app. This is a spot where you just want to check. 5-2 is pretty bad. Negreanu does check. Ace, Jack, 4. Negreanu checks. Hellmuth makes a 1,400 bet into the 2,400 pot. These players are pretty deep stacked. They're playing about 62 big blinds effective at the moment. With the bad gut shot facing a 2/3 pot size bet, I think you probably just want to go ahead and put in the raise, right? It's tough because Daniel probably does not have very many aces because Afterburner is going to raise a lot of the aces over the limp. But he has some, and I think those are reasonable to raise. That said, this is a scenario where perhaps you just don't have very many hands that want to raise for value. And if you don't have very many hands that want to raise for value, well then, you don't get to have all that many hands that want to raise as a bluff. But you do need to continue, though. Whenever you have just like a gut shot heads up, you're not trying to fold unless the board's really bad for you. And look, I realize Ace Jack 4 is not the best, but it's also not like the super nut low. All right, even though Negreanu has almost a nut low. Turn is the 5, giving Negreanu a pair. He will be check calling again, I presume. But it goes check, check. River is a 3. Negreanu has a straight. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5. You ready for a poker vocabulary lesson? This is called the wheel. Ace to 5 is the wheel. Ace, King, Queen, Jack 10 is called Broadway. All the other straights, I think, are just called straights. Super educational poker channel, I know. All right. Negreanu decides to bet. 3/4 pot. Fine and good. I like it. What are people going to think about that the poker vocabulary lesson? Did you like the poker vocabulary lesson? Was it real? Were we trolling? Who knows? Let me know in the comment section. All right. Negreanu bets 3,500 and Hellmuth raises to 21,000. Absolutely blasts it. Absolutely blasted. Negreanu made it 3,500 into the 5,200 pot, and Hellmuth blasted. What should you do with the straight in Daniel Negreanu's shoes? Should you fold because you're afraid of being beat against the 6-2 or the 7-6? Should you call because you're afraid of being beat by the 6-2 or the 7-6? Or should you load it all in? Take a second, think about it, and write what you would do in the comment section below. All right, did you do it? Good. Going through this active learning process is going to go a long way to helping you improve your poker skills, and you can actually take a lot of quizzes just like this on the Poker Coaching app. Check it out, pokercoaching.com/app. This is a spot where the only options are to fold or call. Going all in would be not just bad, but terrible. Whenever you make a reasonable bet to begin with, and then your opponent blasts you, this announces, I have a super duper polarized range. What does a super duper polarized range look like? Well, straights and straights and straights and straights, and that's it. So Hellmuth either has the nuts for 7-6, or the 6-2, which, we block, or a random 2, which we chop with. And every once in a while, maybe, I don't think so, but maybe, Hellmuth's going to be in zoom zoom mode and show up with a random bluff. What bluffs does he even want to have? I guess he wants to have a 6, right? Doesn't want to block the random 2 pairs and sets, and he wants to block the nut straight, I suppose. Although the nut straight's kind of unlikely, unless it's backdoor flush draw, right? Because 7-6 just folds flop, unless it's 7-6 of hearts, spades, or diamonds. You probably still want to have that 6, though. Does he think Negreanu will fold a straight? I don't think so. I don't think Negreanu folds a straight. Negreanu seems to not enjoy folding all that often. So I think it'd be pretty insane to bluff here. So if he's not bluffing here, you definitely cannot re-raise with the 2. I don't even know if you can re-raise with the 6-2. I think 6-2 is actually probably a call in this scenario, even though you block 7-6. If you somehow found yourself with 6-2 of hearts in this scenario, which I don't even know if you have. But if you do have that hand, I think it's probably just a call. Anyway, this is a spot where a lot of people torch their money by shoving it all in. Because like, hey, I got it straight. How many 7-6s are there? It'd be pretty unlucky if he had a 7-6. But not really. Whenever he blasts it over your raise, it's actually very likely he has a 7-6. So, is Hellmuth ever bluffing? With stone airballs, like the, King 6 or something like that. I don't know, maybe. Hellmuth ran a lot of sporadic bluffs. It's hard to find a rhyme or reason. He just gets after it every once in a while when he thinks it'll work. So if he thinks it'll work, he'll try it. So that's a reason to call. As he does this with a random 2, like any 2, I think calling it to be a little bit more miserable, because then you are chopping a lot of the time. But ideally, you want Hellmuth to have a lot of hands containing a 6 or a 7 for just like nothing, right? Does that ever happen? I don't know. I would bet against it, which is a good reason for Negreanu to fold. That said, you have a straight, find a call, do whatever you want. Negreanu does call. Would I have folded in this scenario? Look, you know me, I don't fold. And I would have felt the cooler, just like down Negreanu felt this time. Phil Hellmuth shows up with the 7-6. Woo! For the super nuts. Not shocking. And that continued down Negreanu's demise in High Stakes Duel. Rest in peace. That's going to be it for today. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you somehow fade all the coolers in your next session. Could you imagine if you just had a poker session where you didn't get coolered? Oh, praise the poker gods. It could happen for you. That's going to be it today. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor. Click the like, subscribe, and notification buttons below. Go ahead. Do it. I realize a lot of you are not poker coaching members, and that's okay. But if you enjoy this content, click the buttons. It's easy to do. I wish you all the best. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. It's cold in here. What's big, green, and gives you the freedom to do whatever you want? Yeah, it's money. And if you want to start your journey to a big pile of money, click the subscribe button right over here. See you in the next video.